It's the second Saturday of August. Today's the last full day of competition in the Olympic Games. I haven't been up to any of the events, although it's only an hour's train drive. I'm just too busy and I'm not that excited. A lot of my friends have been and they've had a great time. And hey, hasn't my country of Great Britain done well in the medals tables? And thankfully, the whole thing's passed off without any terrorist or anarchist incidents, which I was afraid would happen. So really glad about that. Just out in the orchard and a little catch up. I'm getting better every day. I can take some weight on this now. My foot's not back to neutral. Hey, they gave me this boot to wear, and it fell apart after quite a short time. I've using some of my leatherworking gear. I've made a gimlet, a thing that pokes holes. I've stitched it together with nylon monofill. Anyway, I can walk on this to some extent. I have to be careful though, I mustn't push it too hard. And I've been out doing some mowing. Just want to show you some things that have gone well and some things that haven't gone quite so well. This is Orleans Renat. You'll know this is one of my favourite apples. And this year it's done quite well. I've thinned this out a little bit and oh, it's a beautiful apple. It really is one of my great favourites. Doesn't do well every year. This is another apple that's also a great favourite, and this is Winter King, and this is actually quite disappointing. Okay, there's some scab there. It's been a very bad year for apple scab. As you can see, the apples crack. Scab is not merely cosmetic. It starts like this, but it ends up cracking. Okay, so we haven't been able to spray as much as we would have liked because it's been raining and because of other stuff. But this tree didn't get thinned. Now you know I go on about fruit thinning. Look, there were 3 fruit there. There should only be 1. And here, this is not good. Now I'm not criticising anyone. I'm not even going to criticise myself unduly. But these fruits should have been thinned, and they're growing much too quick, much too close together. And all of the weight that these have put on is now wasted, and here, instead of having sort of 3 apples this size, we should have had 1 apple much bigger. It's now almost too late to bother here, but I'm going to have a go anyhow, because this as it stands is just completely useless. Look, you've got this rope of fruit here, and it's just too many fruits. Now, alright, I've injured myself, I've hurt myself, I've been immobile for the best part of 8 weeks now, and I'm just getting back. I can take a bit of weight for a short time, but I didn't get this job done. I managed by using taxis and making a lot of effort, and by changing my working week around, I managed to get into the clinic and do all my clinical work I get paid for, but I wasn't able to get out here. Now what I should have done was employed somebody to do this work for us, but it was just so busy, so tired, and we've had other issues going on which I'm not going to blog about, sort of family and loved one issues, and the sort of stuff that everybody gets. Gina's been tired. I've had other commitments. I've been doing a lot of writing recently, and it just didn't get done. I'm not going to beat myself up about it, but it just didn't get done. And now I'm doing some thinning now, but it's really very late in the season, and it should have been done earlier. So this is just, just a video to say, do remember to thin your fruit when you need to. This is a great variety of apple, by the way. This is a variety I've often praised, and I will praise again, called Winter King, otherwise known as Winston. It was originally called Winter King, and then they renamed it Winston after Sir Winston Churchill. This one I'm doing looks terrible, by the way, but if I wasn't removing these, there'd be no chance whatsoever that any of these apples would reach a marketable size. It's been a difficult year. A friend of mine, Mr. Jez Howard, who takes any apples that we can't sell and makes cider from them, he sells it quite legally under his brand name 146. He's won a few prizes. He started making cider with our apples, but his business grew, which I'm glad to say. Check Jez out on 146 cider. But he's been shopping further afield, and he told me 2 orchards, I won't name them, 2 orchards he's been buying fruit from, 2 commercial orchards. One of them you will have heard of if you lived in this part of the world. he says their crop is down 50%. With the terrible early start to the year, we had some nice blossom, but then we had the wettest, coldest April on record. We had the wettest, coldest May on record. We had the wettest, coldest June on record, and it's just not been good. There's been very little sun. The only thing that's really been growing very well this year has been grass, and I've heard that even from the point of view of the cattle farmers, the people who fatten animals on grass, they have not been doing as well as you might think, because the quality of the grass isn't very good. It's growing very fast, but the ground's been so muddy they haven't been able to let the animals out on it. And when they've cut the grass to make hay or silage more like, it's not had very good sugar or protein levels. Anyway, so I certainly don't want to be miserable. Thanks, by the way, to everyone for your good wishes and prayers. A brother said to me in church the other day, Steve, I want to pray for you that your injury will heal quicker than you're expecting it to. I'm not calling it a miracle, but hey, I am getting better quicker than I thought I would. So I'm grateful anyhow. And I'll say a bit more before long about my the fundraiser I'm going to try and do for the British Palawan Trust, the orthopaedic and trauma rehab charity. Anyway, just sort of signing off from the orchard. Sun's shining. Look, that's a bunch of apples that should have been thinned. Frankly, that's worthless. I'll cut that neat in a moment. And you can see this is what a very fertile apple like Winter King will do if it's not thinned. This really only wants about one apple every 4 inches, maybe. It's got too many, and what I'm doing now is a forlorn hope. I'm taking off a huge proportion of these in the hope that we will get a few that will reach a decent size. But this is a job that should have been done 2 months ago, and the fact that it wasn't is going to very significantly impact on the crop.